All right, shalom, everybody. Most High in Christ bless. This is the Elements of Manhood, Financial and Spiritual Balance with myself, Officer Immanuel.
Soldier like him.
And all praise to the Most High, man. The topic for the night is the last day's budget. All right, let's say that one more time. The topic for the night is the last day's budget. All right. So we're going to get right into it. Let's open up with John chapter 16 and verse 33. Unfortunately, this quarter is coming to a close. After the next Many Men's Conference, we're going to switch it up for us, the topics for Elements of Manhood. But if you've been tuned in to the financial and spiritual balance classes, this is all stuff that I didn't cover. Basically, just want to hone in on a couple things and just really emphasize a lot of the points I done made throughout the classes I have done. All right. So let's open up with John chapter 16 and verse 33.
The book of John chapter 16 and verse 33. These things I have spoken unto you, that in me ye might have peace. In the world ye shall have tribulation, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world.
So Christ told his disciples that in the world they would have tribulation. All right, the followers of Christ would have tribulation. Go to Acts 14:22.
The book of Acts chapter 14 and verse 22. Confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith, and that we must through much tribulation enter into the kingdom of God.
Right. So Christ and his disciples taught the same thing. All right. That's a rite of passage into the kingdom of heaven. We must go through much tribulation. All right. Much tribulation. Go to Matthew chapter 24 and verse 21.
The book of Matthew chapter 24 and verse 21. For then shall be great tribulation.
Great what?
Tribulation. Great
tribulation. So we back to Christ, right? This out of Christ's own mouth. And we already read it. This is not his disciples, his followers are not excluded from this tribulation. He said, in the world you will have tribulation. Right? Paul said, through much tribulation we must enter into the kingdom of God. So we reading about the great tribulation that's going to happen in these last days. Read it again.
For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be.
Read.
And except those days should be shortened.
And except these last days of great tribulation be shortened through our prayers. Go ahead.
There should no flesh be saved.
Right. Nobody will make it. Nobody will make it, because the context is going into what? A famine that's going to cause people to be eating their little ones. Woe unto them that give sucking these days, right? So unless the days were shortened, nobody would make it out. Everybody would lose their damn mind and go to hell off, right? Read on.
But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened.
So those days are going to be shortened for the elect's sake. However, those days still going to be there. All right, and it's going to be great tribulation. Great tribulation. All right, go to 2 Ezra 15 and verse 18. Great tribulation. Come on.
The book of 2 Ezra chapter 15 and verse 18. For because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled. The houses shall be destroyed. And men shall be afraid. And man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword.
Come on.
And spoil their goods because of the lack of bread, and for great tribulation.
For what?
For great tribulation.
Right. So we read all these verses, right, letting us know the great tribulation that we're going to have to endure in these last days. Ezra gets very descriptive, right? To where he kind of illustrates the type of things that's going to be going on. It's going to be robbery. It's going to be invasions because of a lack of bread, meaning a famine that's a big part of the equation of the Great Tribulation. All right, let's get that video. So a big thing that Christ always told his followers was to watch. All right, and we read these prophecies. The bishops, the leadership period, have been going over this stuff over and over and over again. In particular, Second Esdras for a while now, week after week after week after week. And it's our duty and responsibility to watch the world and see what prophecies are unfolding. Where are we at in the Bible? You understand? So we just read that it's going to be robberies and things of that, the spoiling of goods because of the lack of bread. All right, play that video.
Email by our community member Jack. He sent this one in. CNBC report that cargo theft led by food and beverage is surging across the United States. And I'll tell you what, this is definitely concerning.
Is it on the screen?
Big time targets become food and beverage. What type of times and what type of road do you think we're headed down? One of their key points on this article, cargo theft continues to climb with freight criminals targeting more cities across the United States and making more use of cyber scams and identity theft. And we're going to get into that last part in a future video, so be sure to stay tuned for that. Food and beverage products are at the top of the targets for freight theft in 2023 with an average loss of $214,000. Food and beverage, folks. Food and beverage. And Los Angeles is the top national target, but the threat is spreading across the country's interior supply chain to an unusual extent, according to the cargo theft expert. If you're anything like me, you would expect luxury cars, jewelry, electronics. Those are the type of things that come to mind to me that should be leading the train on cargo theft. Let's take a look at CNBC's report, State of Freight, and what the experts say.
Now is Scott Cornell. He is transportation lead and crime and theft specialist at Travelers. Scott, thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thanks for having us. I'm happy to be here.
So a question you might be thinking, how vulnerable is our nation's cargo?
Cargo moving across the highways. There's always going to be a lot of cargo sitting. So, the old adage is freight at rest is freight at risk. When you have cargo sitting at drop lots, truck stops, loading areas, staging areas, things like that, that cargo is always going to be vulnerable.
Another question asked, where is this cargo getting stolen? Is it on the ships? Is it at the ports? Is it off the highways? Is it when the semi-trucks are sleeping at a truck stop?
Soldier David.
When you look at the heat maps that we shared with you, you're going to see the highest concentration around those port cities and around those ports.
All right. So we're trying to figure out how to put the video on the screen for y'all can see. I'm glad I ain't do a whole lot of. I think this might be the only video I was gonna make it a video ass class. I'm glad I didn't. We on the screen? All right, starting back at the timestamp, 121. So let's read the scripture again and get the thought back real quick. 2 Esdras 15 and 18. So John 16:33, Christ said we're going to have tribulation. Acts 14:22, through much tribulation we must enter into the kingdom. Matthew 24, in this great tribulation, if it wasn't for the Lord shortening the days, nobody would be saved. And Ezra is going into detail of this great tribulation. Some of the things that's going to be going on. Read that.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15 and verse 18.
Uh-huh.
For because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid.
Read.
A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword.
Read.
And spoil their goods.
Spoil their goods. Come on.
Because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation.
Right. So a lack of bread is one of the main factors in the great tribulation. Famine is one of the key characters within the great tribulation that we're going to have to endure. All right. So remember, it mentioned that people going to be breaking into houses, spoiling goods, things of that nature. All right. So this was just uploaded a few days ago. So play the video now.
This email by our community member Jack, he sent this one in. CNBC report that cargo theft led by food and beverage is surging across the United States. And I'll tell you what, this is definitely concerning. When the big time targets become food and beverage, what type of times and what type of road do you think we're headed down? One of their key points on this article, cargo theft continues to climb, with freight criminals targeting more cities across the United States and making more use of cyber scams and identity theft. And we're going to get into that last part in a future video, so be sure to stay tuned for that. Food and beverage products are at the top of the targets for freight theft in 2023, with an average loss of $214,000. Food and beverage, folks. Food and beverage. And Los Angeles is the top national target, but the threat is spreading across the country's interior supply chain to an unusual extent, according to the cargo theft expert. If you're anything like me, you would expect luxury cars, jewelry, electronics. Those are the type of things that come to mind to me that should be leading the train on cargo theft.
Next time stamp. So instead of it being, the usual things that people steal, it's food and beverage. Alrighty then. Go ahead.
Net yearly incident analysis. So you can see here from 2021 all the way up to 2022. But like I said, these guys are reporting that 2023 is blowing these statistics out of the water. Which takes me back to Jack's report. Are we slowly seeing a Mad Max type of scenario, especially when it comes to this ramping up theft of cargo, food, and beverage?
Pause.
Is this scary new?
Pause. So this is what he's saying. What you see going on with the cargo theft being now, the statistics are showing that it's dominated in the area of food and beverage. Is this slowly building up to a Mad Max type of thing, right? What he mean by that, and it showed the image on the screen, is the I guess you could say the gang militia type of taking control and spoiling of goods. Is it leading to that, right? And I forgot the name of them. I meant to get a clip from the movie. I forgot. I probably got caught up and forgot I was trying to remember the name of the movie. But it's a movie that goes into the last days, or basically a famine broke out, a crisis broke out because of some digital whatever. And the dollar store, the convenience stores and grocery stores, they were getting taken over by biker gangs and stuff, right? And what happened was the biker gangs took control of these stores, and they was charging like $500 for diapers and baby wipes, and you know what I'm saying? multiple hundreds of dollars just for small things that you pay $2-3 for right now. So that's what he's talking about, is what we see going on right now in 2023 that's increasing like hell with the cargo theft, is that the build up to that serious level of famine, to where, you're gonna have to get it how you live. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to be one of them people that's with them type of people that's running around and getting it like that. You understand? So like I said, Christ always told his believers, his followers, to watch. You gotta see, you gotta examine where we at in prophecy. The Esau is telling you we getting up to that second Ezra 15, where it's gonna be men invading houses and things of that nature to take goods. That's what this is leading up to. And nobody knows where the hell all this stolen cargo of food and beverage is going. Nobody knows. Go back to the video.
Era slowly creeping up on us. And a very good question that he brought up. If the average loss of food and beverage is $214,000, where's the stolen food going? Is it being sold at mom and pop stores or on eBay or some other type of auction sites? Where do you guys think this huge influx of theft with food and beverage, where do you think it's going? Put it down in the comments below and let me know what you think. I know something like this doesn't seem like a big deal, but when you see food and beverage start to take the cake with theft with cargo, guys, we're talking about food and drink. That's the big target these days. That's one of those things you notice when you're keeping both eyes wide open. With all of our food industry fires and explosions and different types of attack on our food industry, food and beverage is going to have a higher value than what you might think in the coming future. Whether you see it at your local supermarket or not. We all certainly see food inflation, some food shortages in some areas. There'll be more inflation in 2023. There'll be more food shortages on certain things in 2023. But like I said, the reality of it is everything's dwindling down. Food and beverage will get sold to the highest bidder. Some people worry that we're not going to be the highest bidder. And as certain things become scarce, the price is going to go through the roof. Now, some of us see some crazy inflation, not too bad on the food shortages right now in our face. But definitely with reports like this, guys, pay attention. High chance that it's going to get real interesting. And for those of you that just don't believe in the food shortages, well, believe in the inflation. And what happens when the inflation gets so through the roof and certain people can't afford it? Desperate people will turn to desperate measures.
That's what we read in second Ezra. Stop.
That this will affect everyone.
Stop. Pause it. He said this is before the food is actually scarce. When it's just dealing with inflation, right? Desperate people gonna turn to desperate measures. The Bible said that men shall invade houses and spur up people goods. You understand? Because of the lack of bread. It's going to start with inflation. Desperate people turn to desperate measures. Go back a few seconds. Go back about 10 seconds. 20. All right.
Gets so through the roof and certain people can't afford it. Desperate people will turn to desperate measures. So no matter what, high possibility that this will affect everyone. More reason to be prepping up for emergency preparedness.
So there's more reason to be prepping up. So, hey, Esau trying to get Esau on point. You know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all prepping because food shortage is coming, right? I'm going to throw y'all another nugget. This is another video that I watched. This dude said, now this is what an employee at the store told him. The shelves he was in a store trying to get some items, and he was checking out, and the total was $30, $40 for stuff that normally be like 10, 15 total wise. So he asked an employee, like, why the shelves empty? Why, da, da, da. And the store employee told him that we got the stuff in the back. And he was like, can you go, why y'all ain't bringing the stuff from the back to the front? And he was like, the store employee was like, we only bring the stuff to the front like every Monday or something like that, so we can sell all the high price stuff. So basically what it sound like when you see the shelves and stuff empty, and right now it's not necessarily because they out of food, it's because the store is trying to finesse. Maybe that's their way of prepping for the food shortage. As a retail store trying to, I guess, foresee what's coming to maintain profits, they stocking on the majority of the goods and leaving a high price stuff on the shelves to keep their profit coming in. And then by the time they have no choice but to put the lower price stuff out there, the price of their lower stuff is going to be the price of the high stuff because it's shorted. You see what I'm saying? So right now, it is getting bit. This is the beginning stages. 2023 is the year of the famine. All right. I did the class a few months back. I believe it was still 2022 when I did the class. Make sure y'all go check that out. It's a daily bread. I went into it. 2023 is the year of the famine, guys. It's already in play. It's already in motion. And that, again, is a major factor in the great tribulation that Christ said we would have to endure. All right? So, hey, what is the counsel he gave us? Go to Luke chapter 21 and verse 34. So let's get into it. The last day's budget. All right, read that.
The book of Luke, chapter 21 and verse 34. And take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness and cares of this life, and so that day come upon you unawares.
So in Luke 21 and Matthew 24 is the same chapter. It's Christ teaching the same thing. It's just put in different words because it's a different person recording the account. All right. So in Luke, Christ mentioned that according to the things that I'm telling you, the great tribulation to come, make sure that your hearts are not overcharged with surfeiting, drunkenness, and the cares of this world. All right. Put up surfeiting. The definition. Read that.
The definition of surfeit, google.com. An excessive amount of something.
Can we put it on the screen, guy? And drop that arrow. Drop that arrow. Go ahead, read the definition again.
Yes, sir. An excessive amount of something.
Right. So the Lord warned us not to basically indulge in excessive amounts. Like the example sentence, a surfeit of food and drink, overindulgence, gluttony, right? Overconsumption, belly full.
Super abundant.
And the opposite of surfeiting is lack, dearth, or famine. Right. You understand? So knowing the times to come, knowing the tribulation that we're going to have to go through, Christ is warning us. He giving us the wisdom and the counsel. You don't be overcharged with surfeiting, overeating, overindulgence in food and drink, and drunkenness, and the cares of this world. And we're going to touch on that a little bit too, right? Because that day will come upon you unawares. You will be one of the people caught off guard and panicking and don't know what the hell to do. You understand? Now go to Proverbs 21 and 17. Like I said, a lot of this stuff I done covered already within the series, but I got to hit up on it because this is something that we got to have at the forefront of our minds as spiritual men, all right, in reference to our finances. Read what you got.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 17. He that loveth pleasure shall be a poor man. He that loveth wine and oil shall not be rich.
So the Lord is telling you one of the main causes of poverty, right? We love wine, we love Earl, we love getting full, we love pleasure in our flesh to the point where we will spend money on it, right? Even when there's inflation taking place at such a high level, even when there's shortages going on, we will still indulge in these things because we feel like they so worth it. All right, the Lord said, you indulge in those things, you will be a poor man. All right, go to chapter 23 and verse 20.
Proverbs chapter 23, verse 20. Be not among wine bibbers, among riotous eaters of flesh.
So, counsel also, right? Don't be around people that indulge in the wine, the strong drink or whatever, and riotous eaters of flesh, meaning meat, right? Always throwing some on the grill, a whole lot of lamb, whole lot of turkey, wings, legs, whole lot of chicken, whole lot of salmon, whole lot of, just a whole lot of. Not saying there's anything wrong. Yeah, shout out to Soldier and I just ate some lamb last night and today for lunch. You know what I'm saying? That was left over from what he grilled. So I'm not saying that it's anything wrong with eating flesh, but when you're a riotous eater of flesh, when you're somebody that's a wine bibber, you are somebody that you're not watching or you don't care about what's being said to take place in the coming months, in this coming year, in these times that we really currently in already. The media just not telling you. You understand? You not worried about that. You got your little money, you got your little job, you got your little this, you got your little that. So you going to do what you going to do. You going to buy your bottles, even though they going up. $5 is $5 more this week. Then the next week is $5 more. Then the next week is $3 more. Then the next week is $10 more. By the end of the month, that bottle then became $40 more up under your nose suddenly. You know what I'm saying? But you still buying it because you been buying it. It's just something that you adapted to and you gotta have it. You understand? Same thing with me. It's so, I ain't gonna lie, no cap. This is why I started back eating chicken. All right? I believe it was after Tabernacle, somewhere around there. I was buying salmon and stuff to eat at Tabernacles, right? And I think the last pack I may have bought, I was buying a fresh pack of salmon, and it was like $19. Not long after that, them same packs, the same size, was $40. The fish, the salmon that I was only eating, that was the only meat I was eating. That's doubled. I was like, oh no, hell no. Hey, yeah, we gonna have to, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. Right. No cap. But if you got it, you got the little, you know what I'm saying? You got the money, you know you ain't hurting. And that's what you eat. That's what you used to. You will keep doing it. You'll keep buying it. You ain't regarding the cost. You understand? And like I said, some people, they overindulge in it. They'll eat it every day. Eat like a big dog. Eat like they King Solomon or something. Five oxen, and you know what I'm saying? And one serving. You know what I'm saying? Of course, not that much, but you know what I'm saying. Right. Every day, for lunch, you buying out. You buying meat. For dinner, you cooking meat. You understand? Expensive meat. Hey, Lord said that's not wise to do in these last days. And also, it's not wise to be around those type of people that's doing those type of activities. Read that again.
Be not among wine bibbers, among riotous eaters of flesh.
Why?
For the drunkard and the glutton shall come to poverty, and drowsiness shall clothe a man with rags.
So it's a lot going on in this scripture, but the Lord is telling you that those things, just like in chapter 21, you will not be rich. You will come to poverty. The price is going to go up and your pocket's going to come down. You understand? But not only that, those things take a toll on your health, right? And that's why you see a lot of more brothers getting sick more often. You understand? Because our diets is not right. We constantly indulging in this meat, and we knowing that they shooting the damn chicken with steroids. You know what I'm saying? They breeding the salmon. It's not real. It's you know, like they doing all this stuff to the food, but yet we still eating 3-4 times a day. Full servings of this food that we know is jacked up. And it's messing with your body. It's messing with your immune system. It's messing with your metabolism, your energy. You know what I'm saying? I got a young brother right here next to me. He act like an old ass man. You understand? And the less energy you got, guess what? The less energy you got to make some money. Go out there and grind and do something for yourself. It leads to drowsiness. And it says drowsiness will clothe a man with rags. You will become a sloth because your health will take a toll on your body and your energy. You understand? And the prices go up, but you imagine the food that you eating doubling in the price. And twice a year you get a damn 25-cent raise. That's unjust weights and balances right there. That's the reality that we living in, though. You understand? So a wise man will take heed and understand and respond accordingly as far as his budgeting and his diet, right? But a man that heart is overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness, he not going to regard that. He not going to give a damn. And he going to get caught slipping when a great tribulation hit the fan, all right? From there, go to Sirach chapter 18, verse 30.
The book of Sirach, chapter 18 and verse 30. Go not after thy lust, but refrain thyself from thine appetites.
Right, so that's talking about spiritual and literal. All right, your appetite to watch porn, your appetite to gamble, your appetite to, your lust, and also your literal appetite. You understand? Because I'm telling you, the famine is starting with inflation. They're going to raise the prices on what they got before they actually have to raise the prices because they don't got much. You understand? It's the beginning of the end, y'all. I'm telling you. The cargo ships or whatever, they getting the food is getting taken, and we don't know where the hell it's going. Is they slinging it on a dark web? Who got a dark web account? Who's still getting the food for cheap? You know what I'm saying? Who the plug? We don't know. We don't know. You know what I'm saying? I was saying that, but I really don't want to know because we don't do any. IUIC, Leviticus 5:1, we law-abiding citizens, all right? But I'm just saying, where is the food going? It's getting stolen. We don't know where it's at. And the grocery stores is raising the prices. All right? This is the beginning of the lack of bread, of the great tribulation. All right? So we must respond accordingly with wisdom. Refrain yourself from your appetites. You don't need that much. Don't buy that much. Don't eat that much. Chill out. All right? Read on.
If thou givest thy soul the desires that please
But
her.
if you say to hell with it, I'm going to eat what I eat. I'm going to eat my meats. I'm going to buy my strong. Read.
She will make thee a laughing stock to thine enemies that malign thee.
You don't.
Take not pleasure in much good cheer.
Take not pleasure in much good cheer. So beyond just the purchasing of, whatever it is, your appetite, lust after, right? As far as food and drink. But good cheer, meaning going out, you know what I'm saying, traveling and things of that nature for recreational purposes. God said, don't take much pleasure in good cheer. Come on.
Neither be tied to the expense thereof.
Because it's expensive. In these last days, we got to be mindful of the outcome of our income. You understand? We have to be very mindful, and having a good time is expensive. You understand? We already got to travel a whole lot for the pushing of the gospel. Expos and fees and hotel rooms and all of that. And we know that we get a spiritual recompense for that. So that's worth the investment. You understand? Times a million. But when we want to go, I ain't even going to get it all that, but y'all know where I'm going with this. You know, and some people, they may got it. And, you know, and we're going to touch on it a little bit too, dealing with, you know, the reason why we do those things. Most of us, right? But God has given us counsel in these last days how to operate. Much good cheer all the time, just going out and spending money on making a memory of fun. And not much. Not much in these last days. I'm telling you. You're going to regret it. Go to Sirach chapter 30 and verse 15.
The book of Sirach, chapter 30 and verse 15. Health and good estate of body are above all gold, and a strong body above infinite wealth.
So we read that a lot, right? And all praise to the Most High for the spirit that the Lord put on Captain Shem to, you know, make that very prevalent in terms of, you know, being a true man of valor in Israel united in Christ. Everybody is held accountable for their health. Some brothers simply just don't give a damn, right? They don't care about this scripture. They didn't hit it with the damn the barbecue sauce on their fingers. They just slid it across their joint, and it got a stain over it. They can't read it. You know what I'm saying? And when the barbecue sauce start to fade, they put a little mustard on there. You know what I'm saying? Little ketchup. Little Chick-fil-A sauce, and they can't. Yeah, they always, when they, you know how you what's the word? You skim through your Bible and all that. They always skim on that page. Yeah, that particular verse. For real, why they eating? For real. Let the sauce drip from their mouth on that precept where they can't read it. Don't give a damn. God said health and a good estate of body is above all gold. Now, that's going to be imperative in these last days, in the great tribulation, right? We reading about people going to be like, going to be breaking in your house, going to be aggressive with you. And we going to get more in detail in the scripture. I don't want to jump the gun by saying what the scripture is going to say later. But it will behoove us to be fit, because we're going to have to do some move. Remember, the disciples was persecuted from city to city. You understand? Christ said, when you get persecuted in this city, flee to another, right? And trust me, it ain't talking about you going to be able to hop in a Porsche and that type of flee. You understand? You have to be fit for the battle. I'm telling you, we going to read them.
There is no riches above a sound body, and no joy above the joy of the heart.
Right, because those things are involved. Your mind and your state of body go hand in hand.
Right.
You understand? Your bad health affects your spirit. It affects your memory, your ability to retain scriptures and understand all of that. When you don't have a good state of health, damn, officer, you got good memory. Stop eating all them damn burgers. Maybe you'll be able to retain what's brought out more. You understand? If you take heed to the scriptures, it'll improve your mind. For real. Now jump down to verse 25.
Verse 25.
Come on.
A cheerful and good heart.
Right, a good mind. Read.
Will have a care of his meat and diet.
So if you don't care about your meat and diet, you don't have a good mind. You're obviously not taking heed to the counsel that the Lord gave us, right? To watch, to refrain ourselves from our appetites, right? To loving pleasures that bring you to poverty. Refrain. You understand? That's the counsel that the Lord gave us, because we going to need what we need in these last days. And you want to make sure your body is in a good estate. All right? Them things go hand in hand. But if you don't got a good mind, you ain't going to give a damn. You just ain't right. And you going to wait till it's too late. All right? You tripping over your damn stomach. We trying to run through the wilderness. You know what I'm saying? Through the Underground Railroad and stuff. Your ass trip over your stomach. And we look back, we don't know what the hell happened to you. Like cry, like Joseph and Mary. They went on some days journey. We thinking that you know what I'm saying? We look back, we don't know what the hell happened to you. The damn pack of hyenas then got to your ass or something back there. For real. All right. From there, go to 2 Ezra 15, verse 26.
The book of 2 Ezra, chapter 15 and verse 26.
Come on.
For the Lord knoweth all them that sin against him, and therefore delivereth he them unto death and destruction.
Read.
For now are the plagues come upon the whole earth, and ye shall remain in them. For God shall not deliver you, because ye have sinned against him.
All right. So Christ said that we're going to have tribulation, right? We must through much tribulation enter into the kingdom. But the Lord is telling us, if you are in sin, you are not in coherence with the scriptures, then you will remain in the plagues. You will not escape. You understand? Let's jump up to see what the plagues is specifically. Verse 5.
Verse 5. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine.
What?
Famine.
Come on.
Death and destruction.
So read verse 27 again.
Verse 27. For now are the plagues come upon the whole earth, and ye shall remain in them.
Come on.
For God shall not deliver you, because ye have sinned against him.
Because you have sinned against him. So if you in the midst of gluttony, you in the midst of drunkenness, right? You don't want to take heed to the counsel that the Lord gave you. Then understand you will remain in the famine. You understand? You will be consumed by it to the point of death and destruction. So it is a very serious matter. We got to cover topics like this. Because if we just go over, I don't know what type of stuff we go over. We just go over the 12 feathers and the 10 horns and 7 heads and Genesis, the garden, paradise, the realm that Adam got kicked out. We just go over that stuff. Then, you'll sit up there and still be, your heart will still be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness. You know what I'm saying? And that day will come upon you unawares. All right? So we got to go over topics like this because we don't want any one of us that didn't had the privilege of being called to this truth, which 2/3 of the world ain't even going to register. We've been gifted with the understanding to be able to comprehend what the Lord is wanting us to come and to be able to maneuver through it and endure. If we don't take heed to this stuff, the Lord said, you worthy of being delivered up into the plagues, famine, death, destruction. All right? So from there, go to chapter 16 and verse 37.
The book of second.
Remember, the topic is still the last days budget. All right, read that.
The book of 2 Ezra, chapter 16, verse 37. Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack.
So we read what the plagues are. One of them is famine. Go ahead.
As when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, within 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb.
Contractions, come on.
Which pains, when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment.
Right, so the closer we get to the end, the closer the contractions going to be. All right, so we've had glimpses you could say, of food shortages. I remember when we had the ice storms and the shelves was empty and stuff like that. But these things are going to get more and more rapid, all right, to the point where it's back to back to back to back, like contractions. And we not going to have no more breathing room. The COVID, like it done eased up a little bit. And we, you know what I'm saying? We not drinking the teas no more like that and doing all the remedies and stuff until the next pestilence hit. You know what I'm saying? That breathing room in between the plagues is going to decrease. They're going to get more and more rapid in these last days. All right, so read on.
Verse 39. Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side.
Read.
O my people, hear my word. Make you ready to the battle.
So this is the Lord's message to us concerning these plagues to come. Make you ready to the battle. Get ready. Be prepared. Watch. Because it's coming. Prepare yourself. Go ahead.
And in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth.
Right. So a lot of us don't really understand what that means, right? Because the word pilgrim is associated with being nomadic. You know, you being ready to move here and to move there and all of that. And it's going into that, but in every aspect of our life. And the next verses is going to expound on that. You understand? A lot of us, we might be ready to get up and move to Phoenix. We might be ready to get up and move to Florida. You understand? But is you ready to give up what you got when the shit hit the fan out of nowhere? You know what I'm saying? Your mindset got to be prepared. You got to be as a pilgrim in all things in these last days. Watch this. Read on.
He that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away.
Right, meaning you not sitting on something, you know what I'm saying? You want this? Well, I'm going to sit on this. I'm going to see if somebody going to eventually pay more. No, it's been last day. Get rid of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Be more inclined to get rid of what you're selling because you know what time it is. Read.
And he that buyeth as one that will lose.
Right. You that buyeth, you making investments, you understand? As one that will lose. Right? You not, your mind is not, and I'm not saying don't make long-term investments or purchases or whatever, but just be mindful. This is the counsel of the Lord. All right? You don't want to give all you got into that type of stuff as if it's going to be 20, 30, 40 more years down the pipeline in this world. You know, it could be, but I wouldn't want to roll that dice. You understand? Read on.
He that occupieth merchandise, as he that hath no profit buy it.
Read.
And he that buildeth, as he that shall not dwell therein.
Right. So basically, you ready to lose. You ready to be able to give things up quickly. You understand? You ready to basically, if you setting your heart on something to profit you long term, when stuff hit the fan, it's going to tug on your heartstrings, and it's going to be harder for you to operate as a pilgrim and get with the program that the Lord got planned for the saints. You understand? That's why he talked about, remember Lot's wife. She was still attached to Sodom, even though the Lord said, it's up in smoke. She was still attached. The Lord is giving us counsel to not make decisions that will cause us to be more attached to this land. These plagues is hidden and they not going to be slack. It's the end of the road. So operate accordingly. Read on.
He that soweth as if he should not reap. So also he that planted the vineyard, as he that shall not gather the grapes.
Read.
They that marry, as they that shall get no children.
Read.
And they that marry not, as the widowers.
Right. So if you're not married, if you're single, and that's your chief focus right now is to get married, You tweaking. I'm telling you right now, that's one of the most expensive transactions in your life is getting married. You understand? Unless you a simp and you moving in with her, right? Taking a woman in, or moving somewhere bigger, moving on up because you got a wife now and all of that. I'm telling you, it's very draining, especially financially. You understand? And you don't want your time to be. It's a blessing to be single in these last days. No cap. I'm not saying that being married and having kids is not a blessing. I'm not saying that. But you have the upper hand because you got to think, if you single, you more likely to have a meaner cottage. So you're more inclined to get up and go when it's time. You know what I'm saying? You don't have possessions for 3, 4, 5 persons. It's just you. You know what I'm saying? You get up, go, leave that behind. You know what I'm saying? You're more mobile in a sense of a pilgrim if you single. All right? So he said, if you single, be as the widowers. Like, it's over with. You know what I'm saying? This the counsel of the Lord. Read on.
And therefore, they that labor in vain.
Read.
For strangers shall reap their fruits.
So he's telling you why. Because we read them verses, and a lot of people, like a lot of you brothers right now, is conflicting with it. Like, so I can't invest in real estate. Like, I can't, you know what I'm saying, get on my homestead and gardening, like, really, you know, like, for the long term. You telling me I shouldn't start this business and da-da-da. I'm not saying that. I just read the scriptures. And I tried to expound on it lightly to where I wasn't putting too much for y'all to be like, well, I'm sure about you will. I'm just trying to, the Lord is expounding on in the last days how we be ready for the battle. All right? And this verse is, the Lord is just in case those things rubbed you the wrong way and you don't understand why you should operate like that. He's telling you what's going to transpire when, like the white boy said, desperate times calls for desperate measures. What's going to happen to these things that you're treasuring right now and considering investing your time and money in? Read.
For strangers shall reap their fruits.
Strangers going to reap your fruits. Go ahead.
And spoil their goods.
And do what?
And spoil their goods.
And take them goods that you done saved up 10 years for and invested all this money and time into. They going to take it. Read.
Overthrow their houses.
Do what?
Overthrow their houses.
Go ahead.
And take their children captives.
But you want to get married, though. You trying to expedite your proving process and knock something on up. But is you ready for that trial that you could avoid? I don't know. Read on.
For in captivity and famine shall they get children.
Because in captivity and famine you will beget children. You understand? That's the times that's ahead. And you trying to get married and get something pregnant, but is you ready for 8 months, 9 months, and that's when the store shelves empty. You know what I'm saying? That's when it ain't no more space in a hospital. That's when it's chaos and pandemonium, and you know what I'm saying? Is you ready for that? We pilgrims, we moving around, we fleeing from city to city. You got a newborn. You know what I'm saying? That's what you're getting yourself into. All right? Go to 1 Corinthians. Well, now, jump down to verse 70.
Verse 70.
So this is just more expounding on why the Lord gave us the counsel that he gave us concerning being pilgrims in the earth. All right? Read that.
For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord.
So I'm glad he put it like this, because in your mind, even though he was saying, oh, my people, make you ready to the battle. Speaking of us, but for some reason you thought them following verses wasn't concerning us. You jump down to verse 70. Listen, it's going to be a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. I would hope that's you. You understand? It's going to be a great insurrection upon. We're going to be under attack. You understand? We're going to be targeted. That's the purpose of the propaganda and the lies that Amalek and many others is putting out about us. They want the people to take all their lack of bread, aggression, and desire out on us. Make us the damn lambs for the slaughter. You understand? That's the agenda. That's part of it. Read on.
They shall be like mad men, sparing none.
Sparing none of us. Go ahead.
But still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord.
Again, specifically stating those that fear the Lord. We gonna be of that group that's being spoiled. And the word spoiled means to be robbed. You understand? So that wine collection, them freezers you stockpile. Not saying don't stock. I'm not saying it. You understand? But I'm just saying we are going to be victims in the times to come. Thus saith the Lord. Read.
For they shall waste and take away their goods.
They're going to waste and take away our goods. Go ahead.
And cast them out of their houses.
And throw us out of our houses. Read.
Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire.
So we all want that. We all want to be that gold that get brought forth, but that's a part of the purification process. Right. We got to go through this great tribulation, great insurrection, being spoiled, not being spared. You understand? Things going to be taken from us. We got to count the cost. All right, go to 1 Corinthians 7:29. Let's go to the New Testament where Paul is saying the same thing that the prophet Ezra said. All right, read what you got.
1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 29.
Uh-huh.
But this I say, brethren, the time is short.
The time is short. We in the last days. The plagues finna unravel. Go ahead.
It remaineth that both they that have wives be as though they had none.
Saying the same thing that Ezra said. You understand? They that have wives be as though they have none. So all of that good cheer that being tied to the expense thereof, I'm telling you, these sisters don't give a damn. They're not going to give a damn until they're depending on you to save their life. You understand? They're not going to give a damn about saving and stockpiling and not doing this to save and prepare and all that until the shit hit the fan. I'm telling you, you take your wife out on a date, she going to be asking you, when is the next one? You understand? You buy your wife something, she going to be asking you, can you buy her this too? That's how they mind work. So the Lord is warning us. I'm telling you, a lot of y'all making y'all wives real happy right now. But it'll come to a point of regret. You're going to be thinking back like, damn, we could have had this and had that and been in a better position in this time if we would have not took expense in the good cheer in the time that we could have been preparing. You understand? For real. That's just, I'm not saying, look, me and my wife just had a ball the other night. I spent some bread. But I meditate like, damn, because after that, like, it was like, oh, we should, like, hold on, hold the hell up. I had to go, hey, now listen, you know what I'm saying? Hey, I had to get my mind right because I understand the times that we entering into, and that don't need to be our primary focus. That don't need to become something that we get addicted to, because that's where hard times create, right? It create like situations of stress, and in times of stress, you either do one or two things. Well, you find different ways to really do one thing. All right, you want to release. So that release could mean indulging in pleasures or exercising your mind and building your strength to handle the stress. You understand? And it's, you know, leading up to the destruction of a society is called the age of decadence, right? It's a spirit, it's a vibe in the earth that takes place during the downfall of a society. And it's like a subconscious knowing that this stuff coming to an end. So the YOLO spirit, it runs rampant in the earth. And it'll come up on us in its truth. Like, damn, we ain't never done this. We got to do this. And dang, it feel good to do this. We need to do this more. You know what I'm saying? And you'll get in the habit to where you save a little bit of money. And it's like, okay, now we got to go on this trip. Save a little bit of money. Okay, now we got to buy this. Now we got to just be mindful. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get myself together to be able to go on that cabin trip. You know what I'm saying? Look, leadership want us to, you know what I'm saying? But Bible is Bible. The time is short. So just be mindful. Keep reading.
Verse 30. And they that weep as though they wept not.
Read.
And they that rejoice as though they rejoiced not.
So don't get caught up in your emotions, the things that make you sad, the things that make you happy. Go ahead.
And they that buy as though they possessed not.
Same thing we read in Esdras. Come on.
And they that use this world as not abusing it.
Read.
For the fashion of this world passeth away.
We got to be as pilgrims. We got to understand this stuff finna expire. You know what I'm saying? When you look in the refrigerator and your milk, the expiration date is the next day, and you got a half a gallon left, you finna pour up some cereal. You don't want the milk to go to waste. You understand? That's what we read in Esdras. You that buy, you that occupy merchandise as though you not gonna profit. You understand? You gotta be ready to get this stuff up because it's finna expire. Don't have that mentality like this finna be like we got a long time left. Now use wisdom and don't not do anything at all for the future, for the possibility the Lord might want to prolong it a little bit, one more generation or something. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that at all. We done classes on that. But I'm more so dealing with the indulgence of pleasures, lust, good cheer, right? I mean, you trying to use wisdom to set up your kids and all that for the future and things of that nature. That's cool, you know, but we really just got to be mindful when it comes to the spirits, because the spirits and all this stuff go hand in hand. The stuff that we do in our body, the decisions that we make financially, is a reflection of what's going on with us spiritually. All right, you indulging in much good cheer and drinks and food and all of that. It shows where your spirit is in decadence. You understand? Your spirit is in decadence. You not watching. You're not being watchful. You're not being preparative. You understand? You not really in the vibe of the last days. You know what I'm saying? You'll hear it, you'll preach it, right? But you really got a sense of attachment to spiritual Sodom. All right? So you got to be mindful of that. Prophets are warning us about that. Read on.
But I would have you know, but I would have you without carefulness. He that is unmarried careth for the things that belong to the Lord.
So in this spiel that Paul is giving, he's also showing how being single is an advantage. All right, when you're unmarried, you care for the things of the Lord. So you're more watchful. You understand? You're more inclined to be prepared to be as a pilgrim and things of that nature. You don't have the issue of having a wife but trying to be as though you had none, but still loving your wife as your own flesh. And you know what I'm saying? For real. You unmarried, you can focus on the Lord. Read on.
How he may please the Lord.
Come on.
But he that is married careth for the things that are of the world.
When you married, it's harder. When you married, it's harder. You understand? Because when you marry, you got more of a reason to drink wine. You know, that make the love life better. And she may like it. You know what I'm saying? When you got a wife, you more, and kids, you more inclined to take pleasure, be tied to the expensive good cheer. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to get a kid something to do. You got to make memories. You got to have fun. Woo, yay. Bro, think about the tab when you go somewhere like Chuck E. Cheese, Dave and Buster's. You know what I'm saying? You got multiple kids. Then they want to eat the damn pizza and get a soda. And you know what I'm saying? A souvenir. Think about it. That's a tab. It's a tab. You know what I'm saying? You single, you ain't got to worry about that. Y'all should be on point. We should be going to y'all when the stuff hit the fan. Y'all should be the shoulder that we leaning on. Because y'all don't have these factors that kind of make it harder to prepare. All right? Read on.
How he may please his wife.
Right. So he that is married, you caring for the things of the world, which is passing away. You understand? Because that's what pleases her. Go ahead.
There is difference also between a wife and a virgin.
And it's also on their side as well. Go ahead.
The unmarried woman careth for the things of the Lord, that she may be holy both in body and in spirit.
So the single sister, she focused on the Lord, getting her spirit right. Go ahead.
But she that is married careth for the things of the world, how she may please her husband.
So the married sister is focused on her husband and pleasing him. Read.
And this I speak for your own profit.
I'm trying to help you. I'm not trying to destroy your spirit. How you out here with blue balls. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to have you out here vexed. This is for your profit. Go ahead.
Not that I may cast a snare upon you.
Right. Not to set you back. Go ahead.
But for that which is comely, and that ye may attend upon the Lord without distraction.
Right. So that's why the prophets gave this counsel. Because we got to be focused. We got to be focused on the Lord. You understand? From there, go to Hebrews 13. So I'm gonna deal with Hebrews 13 a little bit. All right, Hebrews 13, verse 14.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 13 and verse 14.
–
For here have we no continuing city, but we seek one to come.
So that's the context of Ezra saying what he's saying, Paul saying what he's saying. It's not to cast a snare upon us. It's not to rain on our parade. It's not to get us to not go and do go-karts with our family and not enjoy the new XO package that came out on our favorite strong drink. It's not to ruin, you understand, the enjoying of the fruits of our labor. It's not for that purpose. It's because they know that this world is passing away. Here we have no continuous city. You understand? So we now have to shift our focus and our investments spiritually and physically into the time to come, the world to come, which will belong to us. You understand? Well, we'll have everything and I won't lack for nothing. Right? So hold that. Go to Matthew chapter 6. In verse 19. Let's go back to Christ. Matthew chapter 6, verse 19.
The book of Matthew chapter 6 and verse 19. Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth. Well,
because how do you lay up treasures on earth? You have to budget and save and purchase. You understand? Treasures upon earth. You have to work. You have to spend time and labor for those things, right? So Christ is saying, don't focus on laying up treasures on the earth. Go ahead.
Where moth and rust doth corrupt,
Uh-huh.
and where thieves break through and steal.
Uh-oh. Nugget. So we just read about what's going to be happening to those that fear the Lord. Thieves going to break through and steal with force. You understand? So he's being clear about the treasures he's talking about. Carnal belongings and things of that nature that we will place our focus on. I didn't hear, but and it's like, because it's nothing wrong with having carnal goals if it's not sin, right? But you will have brothers fall back from the work and avoid doing things that are an expense concerning the gospel because they are trying to lay up a treasure in the earth. You know what I'm saying? Like, the brothers didn't, they not confessing it, but they are like, nah, I'm straight. I'm trying to do this. I got plans for this, for that. You know what I'm saying? And listen, I know, because I know what be going through brothers' mind. What the scriptures say, build ye houses and da da da. Listen, I'm not saying you shouldn't save up for a house. I'm not saying you shouldn't save up for a bigger vehicle because you got a bigger family. But that goes into what Paul was saying, the advantage of being single. You get you a little bitty little super gas saver. But anyway, I'm not saying don't do that stuff. But it's brothers that find themselves compromising their labor for the truth to lay up these carnal treasures, to make these carnal gains in this world that is passing away as we speak, that's finna get hit with them plagues. Say thieves break through and steal. Read on.
Verse 20. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal.
Right. They can't. Them that fear the Lord, while they getting spurred and all of that, and during a great insurrection, they treasures in heaven piling up. Esau ain't gonna be able to take your mansion in the kingdom. You understand? For real. The wicked Jake ain't gonna be able to take your city from you in the kingdom. You understand? That's what we laboring for. That's what we gonna go through the great tribulation for. You understand? So that's where your mind should be. Go ahead.
For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.
And that's why, like we read in Sirach 30 and 25, it say a cheerful and good heart will have a care for his meat and diet. The scripture's showing you that why you brothers don't give a damn about your meat and diet, because your treasure is not, you're not laying up treasures in your mindset is not building up treasures in the kingdom. Them ain't the investments that you've been focused on making and laboring for. You understand? That's why you don't have a good heart and you don't care about your meat and your diet. You understand? Because you focused on what's here. You focused on what's in front of you. That got spiritual gasoline all over it. You understand? That's laying on spiritual charcoal right now as we speak. Ready to be lit up. That's where your heart at. For real, brothers, that's getting all 3, 4, 5 jobs and all. Listen, I'm not saying that you shouldn't get multiple jobs. But if that's affecting how many treasures you laying up in the kingdom, you might want to reconsider. The Lord is telling your heart not in the right place. And your actions are going to reflect what's in your heart. Your diet going to reflect it. Your tendency to indulge in wine and different things that is going to reflect where your heart is at. All right, read on.
Verse 22. The light of the body is the eye.
Read.
If therefore thine eye be single,
if your eye be focused, read.
Thy whole body shall be full of light.
Right, just imagine if you was really locked in with the prophecies, you was really locked in with these scriptures and trying to get this kingdom. Just imagine how much light would be in you. Just imagine how the scriptures would be flowing inside of you and out of your tongue if that's really what you was focused on. You understand? Because I know some of y'all read y'all little 4 chapters and y'all get y'all a class in a day, but your body really ain't full of light. You understand? Because your vision is parted. It's not single. It's not focused. It's not zoomed in on the word of God and his truth and his gospel. You understand? So if that was the case, your body will be full of light. Go ahead.
But if thine eye be evil.
But if your eye be evil, which can mean covetous, right? Which could mean, gluttonous, whatever. If your eye be evil, go ahead.
Thy whole body shall be full of darkness.
Read.
If therefore the light that is in thee be darkness, how great is that darkness?
Come on.
No man can serve 2 masters.
Read.
For either he will hate the one and love the other.
Go ahead.
Or else he will hold to the one and despise the other.
Go ahead.
You cannot serve God and mammon.
Pull that up on the screen. You cannot serve God and mammon. I went over this, and the first class I did in this series, I agreed. Put that on the screen. Scroll down. Read that.
Mammon, wealth regarded as an evil influence or false object of worship and devotion.
Mm-hmm.
It was taken by medieval writers as the name of the devil of covetousness and revived in the sense by Milton.
Right. So we read about like the demon in Tobit had a name, Asmodeus, something like that, right? Mammon is the name of a demon, the demon of covetousness and greed. You understand? You cannot serve God in that demon. You understand? You cannot serve God in the treasures in heaven and serve Satan in the pleasures of this world. You can't serve both. You're going to have to make a decision. And the purpose of the Great Tribulation, which will lead to the compromise of access to the things of this world, is the Lord pushing you to make that decision. When things are lax and all that, like how it kind of is right now, how it was 10 years ago, we not full-fledged in the spirit how we can be by default, because we're overly, the pleasures of this world is overly accessible, and us being in this flesh, we gon' consume. You know what I'm saying? So nearing the time to the end, when the Lord is trying to make us into pure gold, he's going to push us he's going to make the path narrower. You understand? And he's going to push us to make that decision to enter into the straight gate or find ourselves in the water or in the fire.
What club was that at?
That was admit that a lot of people don't even realize they.
I've called her. She hasn't responded. I've called her more than a few times.
But the Zulu Nation, I'm like, what the hell is this? I know nobody know what I'm talking about. You'll leave me on the island by myself. I don't know what the hell Bishop's talking about. That's what y'all do. Then after class, yeah, I knew what you were talking about. I just don't want to be caught out there. The hell is this? Get on my damn nerves. So read that again, 31.
You know what I'm saying? That's the purpose of the Great Tribulation. So we have to, in being preparing and watchful and all of that, we have to shift our focus now. All right? From there, Colossians 3:1. Colossians 3:1.
The book of Colossians, chapter 3 and verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
If ye then be risen with Christ, seek those things which are above, where Christ sitteth on the right hand of God.
Read.
Set your affection on things above, not on things on the earth.
So that's clear. You understand? And it's for our profit. It's not to cast a snare upon us. It's not to have us a-holes and, you know what I'm saying? A lot of brothers don't like me when I do classes and address stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? They might think I'm hating on them or something. But I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to warn you like I'm warning myself. In my flesh, I have desires that's carnal and have nothing to do with the Lord. You understand? I work at an auction. You know, I be like, damn, I'm on a truck like this. You know what I'm saying? When them the Hellcats come through and them Corvette, I be wanting to hop in them giants. Skirt, skirt. Oh, damn, it'd be nice if I had that. What my flesh do. Real talk. When we be door dashing and all that, when we go in them nice neighborhoods, you know where your mind, you know where my mind go? Damn, I gotta get my money, man. For real. I want to live my flesh. I want to live. I want to spend that money and live like that. You understand? So I have to meditate on this stuff. For real. I'm not just trying to, because I ain't, listen, hey. If I wasn't in this truth, I can't say, because I don't know. All praise to the Most High, I'm in this truth. But the way that I was in this world, I was about my money. You understand? I wasn't going to be no broke Negro in the world staying with his mama. No. You know what I'm saying? But the energy that I have in this truth, I know. Because I know I ain't right. I got to labor to stay in the spirit and try to compensate for the wickedness that I've done. So I go hard. I'm trying to push the gospel. If I'm traveling to do the work. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I think in the spirit. If I operate in the flesh, I would be a whole different officer of Immanuel. Believe that. Believe that. And I could turn if I don't meditate on these type of things and get these type of classes. Because when you put when you go on wax, you hold yourself accountable. Like, yeah, you did that class. Now you really gotta, you know what I'm saying? If I wouldn't meditate on this stuff and doing these type of classes, y'all would should be worried about me. You understand? For real. Because I could turn into a covetous brother, a Sabbath day only Israelite, non-traveling prophet sitting on his rank and maintaining the state of the damn world. Because my flesh would like that. My flesh desires that. You understand? But in the spirit, I'm trying to get this kingdom. I'm trying to be like my leadership. I'm trying to follow the footsteps ultimately of Christ. And he had the power to gain power over all the kingdoms in the earth. You understand? But he said he lived his life as a carpenter that stayed on the move, that didn't he didn't just sleep at the house. You understand? He said foxes had holes. He was on the move. For real. I'm trying to be like him. He wasn't balling. He wasn't living lavish. He didn't have his feet kicked back. He was laboring. You understand? In the spirit, that's what I'm striving to be like. And that's how we should move, especially in the last day. Be like Christ. Be like Peter. Be like Paul. Paul, he came from a background of money. He wasn't from no mean city. You understand? But he came into the truth and he went nuts for the Lord. For real. He needed assistance, all that traveling, and man, he was putting in major work for the Most High. And he knew he owed the Lord his life. That's what consumed that covetous. He like, man, I gotta labor. I gotta win. I used to kill these guys. You understand? For real. I persecuted the church. I gotta give every ounce of my soul to build it now. So I don't have time for the earthly pleasures and all that. You understand? That's how we supposed to be moving. That's how we should aspire to move. That's where we should set our affections at. All right? So from there, go to Hebrews 13 and 15. So remember, we left off on verse 14. It said, here we have no continuous city. We seek one to come. Therefore, we're as pilgrims here. All right? Ready to move. Ready to get his stuff up. Read what you got.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 13 and verse 15. By him, therefore, let us offer the sacrifice of praise to God continually. That is, the fruit of our lips, giving thanks to his name. But to do good and to communicate, forget not. For with such sacrifices, God is well pleased.
So these are the following verses after he said, here we have no continuous city, right? And when we read 16, we put it normally in the context of they spake often one to another and all of that. But what it's going into when it says, but to do good and to communicate, forget not. Watch this. Go to Philippians chapter 4. So remember, the class is the last day's budget. All right? Read what you got. Philippians 4:14.
The book of Philippians chapter 4 and verse 14. Notwithstanding, ye have well done, that ye did communicate with my affliction.
With my what?
Affliction.
So this is Paul speaking to the Philippians. He said, y'all did communicate with my affliction. What is he talking about? Go ahead.
Now ye Philippians know also that in the beginning of the gospel, when I departed from Macedonia, no church communicated with me as concerning giving and receiving.
Concerning what?
Giving and receiving.
So he said no church communicated with me concerning giving and receiving. So this communication that we need to communicate and forget not is not just talking about picking up the damn phone. Right. You understand? It's concerning giving and receiving. Go ahead.
But ye only.
But the Philippians, they was in the spirit. They looked out for Paul. They made sure he was all right and taken care of financially. Go ahead.
For even in Thessalonica, ye sent once and again unto my necessity.
That's the communication that he's talking about. From there, 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 17.
The book of 1 Timothy chapter 6 verse 17. Charge them that are rich in this world.
Ooh, I know they. Ooh. Now this is a letter to Timothy, so Timothy had to bring this out. So they hated Timothy, but it really came from Paul.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? With the, hey, damn, the brother count my pocket. Damn. Paul told Timothy to charge them. That means he had to get in people's business and know who was rich and who wasn't. Right. And then when he found out you were rich, to charge your ass. Charge them that are rich in this world. Go ahead.
That they be not high-minded.
Come on.
Nor trust in uncertain riches.
Read.
But in the living God.
That trust in uncertain riches, where thieves break through and steal. And the lack of bread, what they gonna do? Desperate times call for desperate measures. You a target, and you Israel, and you part of a hate group. You deserve for your goods to be taken. Some uncertain riches. Then your money all in the bank, federal bank, and you go out there prophesying against the government. You know what I mean? My money is in the Arkansas Federal Credit union. There's uncertain riches. You see what the leadership was bringing out about the banks? Our money is literally in the enemy's basket. And then, okay, you take it out the enemy basket, put it in your house where thieves break through and steal. Come on, man. So charge them that are rich in this world. Go ahead.
But in the living God, who giveth us richly all things to enjoy.
So this is the charge for the rich in the body. Go ahead.
That they do good. That they be rich in good works.
Rich in good works.
Ready to distribute.
Ready to give. Come on.
Willing to communicate.
Willing to communicate. What is that communicate talking about? To help and assist those that are in need, especially the leadership. Traveling, doing the work, and all this. The rich needs to budget for that. You understand? Ready to distribute, willing to communicate. All right, read on.
Laying up in store for themselves a good foundation against the time to come.
That's what Christ was talking about. So instead of laying up treasures on the earth, you rich, you balling out, you got this car, you got this house, you got these accessories and all of that. How about you lay up treasures in heaven and be ready to give? Ready to sponsor the trip to go wake up the damn Isaiah 11:11 Israelites in Turkey, in Iran, in India. You understand? That's what you need to be budgeting for. So we can get the hell up out of here. And what you doing when you do that? You earning in the kingdom. You understand? You earning kingdom real estate. Understand that. Read on. And it say against the time to come. Meaning spiritually, the Lord gonna look out for you. He gonna make a way for you to escape the great plagues. Remember 2 15, you in sin, you gonna remain in them. But when you lay up a good foundation against the time to come, that's how you gonna be able to endure and make it through that fire. Through the great insurrection. Go ahead.
That they may lay hold on eternal life.
That they may lay hold on eternal life. Go back to Hebrews 13. So when it said to do good and communicate, forget not, it ain't just talking about texting and telegram. You understand? It's talking about being ready to assist financially also. All right? Hebrews 13:17.
The book of Hebrews chapter 13 verse 17.
Go ahead.
Obey them that have the rule over you, and submit yourselves, for they watch for your souls, as they that must give account, that they may do it with joy, and not with grief, for that is unprofitable for you.
So this is still going down from verse 14. Here we have no continuous city, but we seek one to come. You keep reading it just a little bit, and it says, obey them that have the rule over you, right? A big component of your last day's budget is based on the information that the leadership put out. Like, for example, we got the National Prepping Team. You understand? Where they put out information. Listen, y'all should buy these type of bags, buy these type of, you know what I'm saying, devices and these type of gadgets and these type of, you understand, for the times to come, because the Lord put the spirit on them to, you know, they didn't have to be an office. There wasn't an office when I came into the truth. There was no National Prepping Team. There was no videos being done about how to fish manually and how to can chicken, and you know, there were no videos on that. There wasn't an office that shows you where the spirit is leading our leadership because of the times that's upon us. You understand? So with that being said, when they bring out these classes like Bishop, before the pandemic, what was he harping on? Diet. You understand? He was bringing out the scripture, Sirach 30, Sirach 31, Sirach 37, about overeating and, you know what I'm saying, a good state of body and stuff like that. Because the Lord put the Spirit on him. Like, look, it's a pestilence coming. Warn the people. You understand? Y'all remember the Winter is Coming campaign and all of that? For real. So we have to listen. Leadership, what they telling us what we need to do and what we need to be mindful of and all of that, that's what we need to do. If we gonna ball out, if we gonna take pleasure in much good cheer, then let that energy be on the feast days. You know what I'm saying? Like, all that extra stuff. I mean, if you got it, hey, do what you do. Cause some brothers are able to prepare and they got the good budget to where they give a good amount of alms and they able to do this and do that. So I ain't knocking that. Do what you do. You know what I'm saying? But for the majority of us that pretty much live check to check, you know what I'm saying? Income tax to income tax. Listen, chill out. It's not worth it. The kingdom is worth it. You understand? Listen, this, you know how we be like, man, this stuff ain't going nowhere. Yeah, it is going somewhere, to ashes. So strive for that which is a million times better and everlasting. For real. All right? So go to Acts 4:34. So these some examples of back then obeying them that had to rule over us in the context of, you know, financial moves to be made in a time of, you know, distress. Stuff like famines and things of that nature. All right, read what you got. Yeah.
The book of Acts chapter 4 and verse 34. Neither was there any among them that lacked, for as many as were possessors of lands or houses sold them, and brought the pieces of the things that were sold.
Prices.
And the prices of the things that were sold, and laid them down at the apostles' feet. And distribution was made unto every man according as he had need.
So they had to be willing to communicate. Like, hey, my property was worth this much. This is how much I got. Here you go. You see what I'm saying? They couldn't be all secretive and I don't want leadership in my business and all that. That's why this when you read Acts 5, Ananias and Sapphira, they had dropped dead. You understand? So be mindful. All right, go to chapter 11, verse 28.
The book of Acts, chapter 11 and verse 28. And there stood up one of them named Agabus, and signified by the Spirit that there should be great dearth throughout all the world.
So, like, when you got classes on IUIC classrooms like 2023, Year of the Famine, you know what I'm saying? You got classes by the bishops and the deacons talking about, like Deacon Malachi, the Great Reset. And you know what I'm saying? All these classes coming out. And you reading the things written the fourth time written for our learning. The Lord was signified by the Spirit through a prophet. Like, hey, famine is coming. You understand? It's not nothing that leadership just brainstorm on some, I'm smart, so I feel like this is going to happen. It's the Spirit. So Agabus, through the Spirit, warned, hey, look, listen, apostles, hey, it's a famine coming. All right, read on.
Which came to pass in the days of Claudius Caesar.
Which it eventually came to pass. Come on.
The disciples, every man according to his ability, determined to send relief unto the brethren which dwelt in Judea, which also they did, and sent it to the elders by the hands of Barnabas and Saul.
Right, so orders went out concerning the famine. All right, go to 1 Corinthians 16, verse 1. 1 Corinthians chapter 16, verse 1.
1 Corinthians chapter 16, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
Now concerning the collection for the saints.
The what?
The collection for the saints.
The collection for the saints. Go ahead.
As I have given order to the churches of Galatia, even so do ye.
So this is Paul writing to the Corinthians. He letting them know, I gave order to the churches of Galatia. All right? To call for, you know what I'm saying? For to assist the saints. And I'm putting on y'all the same order. All right, go ahead.
Upon the first day of the week, let every one of you lay by him in store, as God hath prospered him, that there be no gatherings when I come.
Read.
And when I come, whomsoever ye shall approve by your letters, them will I send to bring your liberality unto Jerusalem.
Right, your willingness to distribute to Jerusalem, because that's who the collection was being made for, the saints at Jerusalem. Go ahead.
And if it be meet that I go also, they shall go with me. Now I will come unto you.
So I'm going to come to you from Galatia. Go ahead.
When I shall pass through Macedonia.
After I pass through Macedonia. Go ahead.
For I do pass through Macedonia.
So, all right. So just to paint the picture, right? Paul made a circuit. And I'm going to show y'all. I went over this before. Y'all don't remember. But Paul made a circuit, right? On his way to Jerusalem. He made a circuit of all the churches of the Gentiles, making a collection to bring to Jerusalem to help the brothers and sisters that was in need. All right? So go to Romans 15. Romans 15:24.
The book of Romans, chapter 15 and verse 24. Whensoever I take my journey into Spain.
So Paul had plans of going way out to Spain to preach the gospel. Go ahead.
I will come to you.
So before I hit Spain, I'm coming to you, Rome, because a lot of people don't know. When he wrote the letter to the Romans, he had not been there yet. All right, we'll read on.
For I trust to see you in my journey, and to be brought on my way thitherward by you, if first I be somewhat filled with your company.
Right. Lord's will, I'm able to stop by you and be filled with your company before I hit Spain. Go ahead.
But now I go unto Jerusalem to minister unto the saints.
But right now, I'm en route to Jerusalem to minister, to help, to assist the saints. So he discussing the same thing he was discussing with the Corinthians. All right, bringing the assistance, the bag, to the brothers and sisters in Jerusalem. Go ahead.
For it hath pleased them of Macedonia and Achaia.
Of Macedonia and Achaia. Achaia is the region of Greece where Corinth was at. All right, so it pleased Macedonia, which was north of Greece, and Achaia, where the Corinthians was at, to what?
To make a certain contribution for the poor saints which are at Jerusalem.
So it said it pleased them to give, you know what I'm saying, the money that helped the brothers and sisters. Go ahead.
It hath pleased them verily, and their debtors they are. For if the Gentiles have been made partakers of their spiritual things.
So if the northern kingdom, the scattered, uncircumcised Jews, they have been made partakers. They've been grafted in the faith with the brothers and sisters at Jerusalem, who the gospel hit first. They've been made partakers with them, so they debtors to them. It's only right that they help them out. Go ahead.
Their duty is also to minister unto them in carnal things.
Their duty, meaning our duty, is to minister unto our brothers and sisters in carnal things, meaning things like finances. You understand? That's our duty. So, go to Acts 24:17. Acts chapter 24 and verse 17. So this is when Paul was on trial. He went to Jerusalem. He was sacrificing in the temple to show that he wasn't doing what they said he was doing, teaching contrary to the law of Moses. And the niggas still, you know, did what they did. And you know what I'm saying? He ended up, you know, in custody, right? But this is him pleading his case and explaining why he had even come to Jerusalem. All right, read what you got.
The book of Acts, chapter 24 and verse 17. Now after many years, I came to bring alms to my nation and offerings.
So he telling you what he came for, what the mission was about. It was not only to keep the feast that was at Jerusalem, but to bring that collection that he gathered up from those churches to bring to assist the brothers and sisters at Jerusalem. So remember 1 Corinthians 16:1 said order. I'm giving you the same order that I gave the churches of Galatia. So it was an order put out for the churches to give. So they had to be willing to distribute, ready to communicate, to give those funds to relieve the brothers and sisters at Jerusalem, which Paul eventually came with, but he ended up in custody, and the white man wanted that bread when you keep reading later on in the chapter. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, the damn devil. All right? But pull up that map just to show the circuit that I put in the IT page. Just to put it into perspective. Yeah, bro. So remember, the things written the time was written for our learning. That's the type of stuff we got a budget for, y'all. We gonna be going through the same type of stuff. When the famine hit, Bishop covered it. It's not gonna be in all cities at once. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be in certain cities. So it's gonna be circuits made to gather and assist our brothers and sisters, but you spending all your money on a damn to get a pool built in your backyard or some stupid shit. I don't know. All right, put up the map. Put the map on the screen. All right, put your mouse. It's green to the right. In between Phrygia and Cilicia. Where the mouse at? Go to the right. All right, right there. Go down a little bit. So where you see Antioch and Pisidia, Iconium, Lystra, Derbe, those are the churches of Galatia that he was talking about in 1 Corinthians 16:1. So he had came up from Antioch, which was in Syria, to the right. Or he spent some time in Tarsus too, in his hometown. So he went to the churches of Galatia, which was Antioch, Pisidia, Lystra, Derbe, Iconium, all of them. And then he went to Macedonia. Go up to the top in the yellow. There you go. Right there. Go back to where you were just at with the mouse, where it say Philippi. Philippi, Berea, Thessalonica, those were the churches in Macedonia. All right? So he's showing you the circuit where he gathered the money for the saints. So he came up from Galatia, went up to Macedonia. Now go down to the blue where you see Achaia. Go down. You see that? You see where Corinth is at? So he made that circuit. All right? And then he went across to Ephesus. When you read Acts 20, he went across to Ephesus and moved. Well, he actually didn't go into Ephesus. He was on the coast. They had to meet him in, I believe it was Miletus, one of them cities on the coast. He met with the elders of Ephesus and made his way down to Jerusalem or Judea to bring all of that money that he gathered from those churches. All right, so that's an example of obey them that have the rule over you in the context of, you know what I'm saying, financial assistance. And, you know, in the last days, we going to need help, right? We going to need to help each other out. So from there, you could drop that. Go to Genesis 41:29. So this is another example right here. The Lord will put the spirit on a leader to put out a plan, to map out a plan or an initiative. And this is some wisdom that can still help us out today. All right? Read what you got.
The book of Genesis, chapter 41, verse 29. Behold, there come 7 years of great plenty throughout all the land of Egypt. And there shall arise after them 7 years of famine. And all the plenty shall be forgotten in the land of Egypt. And the famine shall consume the land. And the plenty shall not be known in the land by reason of that famine following. For it shall be very grievous. And for that the dream was doubled unto Pharaoh twice. It is because the thing is established by God, and God will shortly bring it to pass. Now therefore, let Pharaoh look out a man discreet and wise, and set him over the land of Egypt. Let Pharaoh do this, and let him appoint officers over the land, and take up the 5th part of the land of Egypt in the 7 plenteous years.
The 5th part is 1/5, meaning 20%. All right, 20% of all of the, you know, what was being reaped, what was, I guess you could say, the income that came from the land. 20% was to be stocked up or stored up. Go ahead.
Verse 35. And let them gather all the food of those good years that come, and lay up corn under the hand of Pharaoh, and let them keep food in the cities. And that food shall be for store to the land against the 7 years of famine, which shall be in the land of Egypt, that the land perish not through the famine.
So there was some wisdom back then to preserve. They ended up saving nations, including our forefathers' lives. All right. So with us knowing that a famine is on the horizon, really is in motion right now. We not even in the plenteous years no more. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta be even more proactive than taking a fifth part in you know what I'm saying? That's just like a good standard. 20% of your income, put it up. You understand? For the times to come. All right? Don't get these taxes. Some of us already done did it. You know what I'm saying? And then blew it on a pleasure or pleasures. All right? You can take a little piece of it, because he that is married careth for the things of the world, how he may please his wife. I get it. I just did it the other day. You know what I'm saying? I understand. That's what the scriptures say. All right? But just be mindful. All right? This was the wisdom our forefathers had. They put a 1/5 of their earnings for the time to come. All right? We should be doing at least that. All right? That's wisdom that was given by our forefathers. Go to Ecclesiastes 7-12. We almost done. Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 12.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verse 12. For wisdom is a defense.
Right, like knowing what's coming, the scriptures, the Lord giving guidance, giving counsel. That's a defense. Go ahead.
And money is a defense.
And that's where application come in, because you ain't gonna know what the hell. Money ain't gonna be a defense without the wisdom to know what to do with it. You understand? So money is a defense when you have the wisdom to make it one. Right? Read on.
But the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom giveth life to them that have it.
Right. So that's wisdom in itself, knowing that money is a defense. If you're not saving it, but you rather blowing it on your pleasures or being tied to the expense of good cheer in the last days, then it's not going to defend you when the stuff hit the fan. All right? Sirach 29, verse 11.
The book of Sirach, chapter 29, verse 11. Lay up thy treasures according to the commandments of the Most High, and it shall bring thee more profit than gold.
Right. So that goes into what we read about being willing to communicate, giving alms. You understand? Laying up your treasures according to the commandments of the Lord, with your affection set on him, and not focused on storing up carnal treasures that's passing away. You understand? You laying it up according to the commandments of the Lord. Come on.
Shut up alms in thy storehouses.
Shut up alms in your storehouses. Come on.
And it shall deliver thee from all affliction.
Like what? Like the great tribulation. You understand? Like the great insurrection. Go ahead.
It shall fight for thee against thine enemies better than a mighty shield and strong spear.
That's how money is a defense. When you giving it to the greater purpose, you understand? For the Lord, that's when it will be able to deliver you from affliction, right? That's when you budgeting and doing the right things to help brothers and sisters and stock up and prepare and so on and so forth. You understand? It's going to fight for you. It's going to be able to deliver you. It's going to be an assistance. It's going to be a defense. All right? But it can't defend you in the form of Hennessy. It can't defend you in the form of Douce. It can't defend you in the form of the rack of lamb. You understand? It can't defend you in the form of Texas Roadhouse. What's some of the expensive places we be eating at? Hell, Burger King. Hell, it can't defend you in the form of fast food every damn day. It can't defend you in the form of hospital bills. You understand? If you disregarding your health because you overindulging, your heart is overcharged with surfeiting, your mind ain't in the right place, and you not properly preparing your spirit for the times to come, and you not laying up a foundation against the time to come with the Lord. You understand? So we got to make sure that we properly positioning our last days budget. All right? And not on some selfish shit either. Not on some the fifth part just for your damn self. You understand? I'm telling you. Because that he said, them that sin shall remain in them. You that brother that's selfish, self-willed, and you only stock up and all that for yourself, and you not shutting up in the arms and the storehouses, and you not liberally looking out for other people, you gonna be the one to get all your shit spoiled. You understand? They gonna take they might even take your kids. For real. So be mindful. Be very mindful. All right, with this last day. But don't forget about alms in your last day's budget. Don't forget about the prophets that's going out to preach to the four corners to bring forth the end. Don't forget about them. Booster Club. All that count. You understand? Funding the prophets to go on these missions, these trips, and now we just had 2 men go to Mexico. 11th hour. Did you communicate? You know what I'm saying? Them brothers took flights. I think Jonah got the hookup or whatever, but still, you know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm just saying, brothers. That's a part of the last day's budget, man. All right, so let's get it together. Let's get it right. Let's refrain from our appetites. I'm saying this from brother to brother, brother to sister. I know this is gonna drop. This is gonna be the sister's gonna be able to watch this too. You know what I'm saying? Listen, refrain from your appetite. We didn't got enough. We didn't got enough. You know what I'm saying? For real, it ain't worth. The kingdom is way more worth it. Let's focus on that thing. I ain't saying that you can't go swimming this summer. You can't go take a trip with your family. I ain't saying that. Go on a cabin trip if you can. If you can. If you got 3 months and your monthly expenses saved up, you got an emergency fund, you ready, then go. Yeah. If you ain't got that, listen, I'm telling you now, you got the devil on you. You ain't right. You know what I'm saying? Because if I ain't at that level by that time, then I can't go. Because that ain't right. That ain't right. You know what I'm saying? So at least have 3 months of your monthly expenses saved up, stored up, before you go on trips like that and spend that type of money it's not for a feast day. It's not for the joy of the Lord per se. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's for the joy of the Lord. But y'all know what I'm saying. For real. Like, come on, be responsible. Be wise. You know, be wise. All right? But with that, look, if you single, hey, you good. Stay good. You single brothers and sisters, man. Y'all stay in the spirit. I know just a lot of y'all proving. You know, it is what it is. Stay in the spirit, man. I'm telling you. Hey, man, listen. I love my wife to death. I love my kids to death. But I remember if I was a little bit longer. Woo! If you single, you got an advantage, man. You know what I'm saying? Take advantage. All right? Serve the Lord without distraction. With that, shalom, my son Christ, man.
What is the nation?
Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is you.
And finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord. His word, his word.